Good evening, Ladybugs and Yellow Jackets. Welcome to this week's episode of FAE News. I'm going to put you on mute down here because I hear feedback. So, okay. Welcome to this week's FAE News here on FAE Productions. I'm your host, Fairy Princess Lolly, and tonight I am here with Count Ebullient. Ebullient? How do you say that word? Ebullient. I don't even know what that word means, actually. Ebullient, like a bouillon, like we can throw you into hot water and you make it tasty with your bones, or what? I don't even. What
well,
does that
mean?
Is
also true, but that is not what that means.
Ion the leprechaun, y'all hammer hands down there, who I muted because I was getting feedback from him, and famous Dana the boggin. So, hello everybody. I see you. Hello, Christina. Or shall I say Flora, and of course, Newt with your little thing.
I want to know if there's a fauna.
A fauna? A flora? If there's a flora, we need a fauna, right?
And if we come in a set.
I can see
and if we follow Sleeping Beauty standards, we also need a Merryweather.
That's true for to make the little three. Although I can think of a fauna that was at Fairyblossom a couple of years ago. Hello, Cerulean Witch and Persephone, or shall I say Branwyn. Look, I'm learning your guys' magical names. That's very exciting, actually. So I think so. Anywho, well, so there are some interesting things on the docket tonight, and I'm excited to say that I finally managed to like be up to date with myself, and so we have a vendor and everything, and that is also exciting. Because I've been so behind in everything this year, but I did it. What? You're muted. I can't hear you. Your lips move, but I cannot hear what you're saying. Oh, that was the best use of a Pink Floyd lyric ever. I mean, I'm not sure you guys could tell it was Pink Floyd unless you know the lyrics. But oh, yes. Also, please allow me to give... man, I just totally forgot. I'm so tired, actually, right now, but that's okay.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste.
Stop it.
Been around a long, long time.
Okay, please hit the like and subscribe button. Wait, I'm supposed to have a different adjective every show. Oh no, I better think of a new one. Or I mean,
flap.
Ebullient.
I don't even know why. What does that mean? Flap the like and subscribe button, you guys.
we lost the perfectly good Gunther. Bring back Gunther.
I mean, we didn't exactly lose him because I could see him. He's right over there. But I don't know what happened to him on stream. There he is. He's down there.
I don't know. I'm here.
Is that what happens when someone gets a like button and flaps it, that someone disappears? That could be scary.
That's slightly terrifying, yeah. I don't know if I can handle that.
There's only one way for them to find out.
What happens
to try it.
Ebullient is what happens when I Google what words are the opposite of morbid. It also came up with cockatoo.
So
and I haven't actually looked that up yet. Apparently the opposite of morbid is cockatoo, but also ebullient and...
I don't know. I don't like it.
I'm in a very good mood.
So
I am happy.
I'll have to use this next week. Or next show, Friday. I'll have to use Flutter on Friday. Flutter. I like that one. So the other thing that I normally do here, please, the shout out to today's show sponsor, because that's also our beginning of the show things. It's Pixie Potions. And Pixie Potions is a single mom-run Tacoma-based business that is focused on healthy alternatives to everyday personal care and pain relief products, featuring high-quality, responsibly sourced. I feel like I'm an Animaniacs right now. Featuring high-quality, responsibly sourced ingredients from better shea butter, majestic pure essential oils, and nature's best CBD. Yes, they specialize in small batch, handcrafted body, face, and beard care products, including their signature CBD pain relief. And you can check out their full line of products at pixiespotions.com. Information is, of course, going down there in the ticker and in the low bar. If you are local to Tacoma, you can use the code LOCALDELIVER on your orders of $20 or more and get free delivery within a 20-mile radius of Tacoma. So that's pretty good. Please check them out. Give some support to our sponsors, even if it is just to follow and like. Those things are still very helpful. So now, with that said,
you said they have pain relief products?
I did, but there is no solution for you.
Well, no. I was going to ask if they have any pain-causing products.
Pain-causing products. I don't know. You will have to send them a message, probably on Instagram or Facebook, and ask them whether or not they can do that for you. I'm sure that they would be willing to try a custom order, Count Morbid.
And can they make me a doll shaped like Fairy Princess Lolly? No.
I mean, technically, most voodoo dolls aren't really in the shape of their person. You don't need it to be in the shape of the person. You need it to have some element of the person. So your hair, toenails.
Sure, if you don't care about putting in the extra mile.
I think you know a little bit.
If you're not going to put in the effort, sure.
What kind of a second-rate voodoo doll is that? You
would have like a doll of me with my face on it on your shelf or anything. It's not like I've had chronic back pain or anything.
Well, Count Morbid. So this
you don't have a doll with my face on your.
She's looking at it right now.
It's across the room, over behind, down yonder in the grassy knoll. It has a hat. It looks just like you. It's sleeping.
Ruggedly handsome. Ruggedly handsome.
More rugged than handsome.
Is that the one wearing the top hat?
Yes.
Literally got my face on it. Yes.
So, Count Morbid. You see, one of the things that I was going to talk about tonight was Valentine's Day, the upcoming Valentine's Day, because I decided that for Valentine's Day, regardless of whether or not anybody does it with me, although I am going to invite everybody who is a member of either our Patreon or our YouTube channel to come on stream with me and do a joint DIY to make Valentine's Day gnomes. And each Valentine's Day gnome will have its own little gift baggie of extra life hearts, also known as Valentine candy hearts, but I like to think of them as extra life hearts, +1 hearts, right? Like you get those and they save your life, right? So anywho, the idea is that each one will have a different number of candy hearts in them, and then everybody can guess how many candy hearts are in each one, and whoever is the closest to each gnome wins that gnome for their Valentine's Day prize. Except for you, I think that you should join us on live stream, and you should create your Valentine's Day voodoo doll for the unseelie side of things.
What better Valentine's Day?
Do you have any of those from Fairy Meat? Do you have any of those hearts from Fairy Meat?
Yes.
I do?
From Fairyblossom, yes. For the Fairy Meat.
Hearts from Fairy Meat.
The much prettier hearts. From the Fairyblossom meat wars.
Those are yes, I do have some of those. I have a whole bucket of them. What do you want me to do with
bucket
that?
Of hearts?
Yeah, no, not those hearts. Candy hearts, Count Morbid. Not anatomically correct hearts. Well-ish, correct-ish.
I want you to shine. I want you to shine them up real nice. Turn them sideways.
No, I'm kidding.
And I'm on you.
I know what comes after that. So
Sticking up your Rudy Poo.
Let's see. Hi, Cabo. How are you? I see you out there. So does that mean that you will not join us on a DIY live stream to how to create your own Valentine's voodoo doll? Does he even know I'm talking to him? I hope the answer is no, but I suspect it's probably yes, to be perfectly honest.
Is this project called Good Valentine's Day? The G up front?
Oh, what is that? Is that a heart mold? You have a mold for heart making?
Well, no, it's actually one of the wooden chests that I showed last time, but it's perfect for storing the hearts of your enemies.
Yes, I was just going to say you have a huntsman's box.
Yes,
which is yes. a little creepy, but I guess that's your shtick, right? Creepy.
Ebullient.
Ebullient, yes, ebullient. Well, so that is the thing that I want to do for. I think, and I'm looking to perhaps do this live stream next Thursday. That way we have time to make our gnomes and I can put them up, and then everybody can have a week or so to go guess the numbers for the number of hearts, and then after that we will determine who the winner is, and they can be mailed to their new gnomies, their new gnomie homies. So
what would be interesting is if you spent dross to make a second guess, or spent dross to make a third guess, or spent dross to make a fourth guess. That might be an interesting spin.
That is not a bad idea. That could be done.
Does it follow the Price is Right rules where it's without going over? Just the right amount without going over?
No.
No, I don't usually think that the rules for jelly beans in a jar is without going over. It's just whoever's closest, right?
Right, but Price is Right has different rules, yes.
Yeah,
different games to play too.
I'm just trying to find out if a guess of one is a good guess.
If you think that the bag has one in it, then yes. I guess go ahead and guess yes.
Guess how many hearts
might not be the closest.
What?
So
guess how many hearts Frank has?
Yeah.
Tree? One for you, one for him, and one for the puppy.
I'm just saying. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is news on Fairyblossom, because people have started to ask, and I too have actually done a little investigating. So because of the reopening this year, so I reached out to Red Hawk Avalon, which is where we hold Fairyblossom, and asked them what their thoughts are with doing a festival this year. And they feel, and we feel, that because of the reopening, that it is not going to be insufficient time for us to have our regular outdoor Fairyblossom Festival on the last weekend of June, as we normally have it. So with that kind of decided, yes, a second box, very nice, 3 more hearts. With that kind of decided that we won't be doing it there, I have decided that I want to still do something, because I'm not going to completely cancel it like we did last year. We still have time to figure out something, as opposed to nothing like we did last year when everything was just crazy. So what I'm looking to do this year is have an indoor event that is focused on indoor games that can be played, because the premise of Fairyblossom, of course, is midsummer games. It's just that we're going to have to do it inside, in a place where everybody can rent their own separate rooms, say at a hotel, or maybe some kind of, even if it was a cool campground that actually has designated places. And then instead of having a live with vendors fairy market, we will implement the virtual market that we were planning to do last year. Now, because we don't think opening will be done in time for June, we're going to do this sort of mini Fairy Blossom indoor, but then for the Harvest Festival in September that we had attempted to have last year, we're actually just going to kind of skip to that and go ahead and make that our live event for this year in September. Because hopefully by September, reopening will actually be a thing that we can do with outdoor events, even if we have to be socially distanced in our booths and whatnot, you know, for the fairy market and for the camping or whatever. We should still, by that point in time, be able to have some manner of outdoor gatherings. So were you wanting to say something, Gunther?
Apparently, she informed me that beer pong is not an appropriate indoor game, just so that's out there.
That what?
Beer pong. I was very upset by this. I feel like that I should start a petition for beer pong at Fairy Blossom Festival. It's just a thing.
Gunther, mead pong, ale pong.
Ale pong. Yeah, mead pong. I could do that.
It kind of sounds cool, to be honest.
And we can still do karaoke.
Well, my understanding is that pong is not the most hygienic of sports. I'm not.
Okay, well, so this is part of the thing that I think is hilarious, right? Is because if the place that we were going to do our Yule that we couldn't do this last year at the Homewood Suites in Vancouver, that place is probably still a really good place actually to consider doing Fairy Blossom in the summer. But what I think sounds, because they have a great outdoor area that we could set up all kinds of things in and around. And what I think is one of the fun parts of this is figuring out a series of games that we could play over 2 days, all kinds of indoor games. So these can be tabletop card games, board games, so we can have kind of these mini challenges or tournaments, but also things like indoor mini golf or
mead pong.
Pong. Or
well, as far
good
as
job,
ideas
Orbit.
for
I blame
games,
him on you.
ideas for games. Has anybody else seen Saw? Anyone? Okay.
Yes.
Maybe that's an unskilly thing. Yeah.
I was thinking you might volunteer for a game of Operation. We'll start with your funny bone. It obviously isn't working very well.
It's actually quite large.
Is that the problem?
It's never been the problem before.
That's what she said.
Yeah, funny looking doesn't count, really.
My mom says I'm handsome.
Oh, wait, what? Your mom what?
Her mom's also blind as a bat, so.
Okay, I need a fan.
Do you need me to go find one for you?
No, I don't.
Do I need to go get that palm leaf out and just get you?
Yeah.
I have soup and you don't, so ha.
See ya, huh?
I don't know what he has. If he did, when he laughs, does that mean he goes puff, 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 puff?
I made Tuscan soup with chicken stock, tomato, basil, both basil and pesto, which is redundant, but little mini farelli type pastas.
I actually find it amusing how good of a cook you are.
Well,
nope, wrong way with your camera.
Quite far ahead of you, okay?
Well, so here's the thing.
You're saying I'm a good cook is an extremely low bar.
Not as low as my bar is. mean, I don't even have to go out of my way to find some sort of a magical apothecary and buy things like Nightshade and Belladonna and I drank what?
Hemlock.
Yes, hemlock. I don't have to find any of that. I'm
So
such
what
a
you're saying-
good cook.
what-
I can just make regular food and it'll kill you.
Well, what you're saying is that when you cook, it's poison whether or not you intend that.
That is correct. That's what I'm saying.
Whether or not, sometimes you intend to, sometimes you don't. Either way, don't eat it.
It's an adventure. I mean, if you're feeling froggy, then
It's not an adventure if both the choices kill you. That's not an adventure.
I've managed to mess up water,
I mean,
and I'm
Sometimes when you play Russian roulette, everybody wins.
yeah. Well, I was going to say it's not Russian roulette. It's not Russian roulette when you put bullets in all the chambers. That's not Russian roulette.
No, that's just murder. And that can be fun too.
Depends who's
That's
eating
just
the
murder.
bullet.
Yes, thank you.
Somebody
Depends
might
on the
win.
day. Today might be the day.
Well, yes, but again, if you load all the chambers, it's not. That is no longer a game of chance.
But it's still fun depending on who the participants is.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, by the way, to stay in the toboggan, do you make your own stock?
I thought we spent money on those.
Not
Sometimes I make my own broths. Yes.
Are you calling Miss Dana's younglings cows? Is that what you're calling them? That's terrible.
No,
They're
stock.
not stock.
Like bombs.
No.
And
I mean,
Stock.
she made them.
they do carry a good amount of weight. Actually, no, I don't usually. Well, the stocks maybe, but the base broth, no. I'll still put that with other things. I have this shiny new Instapot that I got for the holidays, and today I put broth in with some bouillon paste and 2 onions and a chicken breast, and put it in the pressure cooker for like 20 minutes, and then hit the button because I wanted it done now. And ate it, and it was amazing and good, and it was a little too hot on my lips. But that was dinner tonight, so I knew.
No, you use some fairy time magic to make a slow cooked meal in 10 minutes.
Yes, and it's amazing how no one else in the house can eat it.
Well, Lolly does that too, but for different reasons.
because she burnt the pot.
Well, one youngling is allergic to the chicken, and then the other older youngling is at work, so he doesn't get dinner.
Oh, I thought you were going to call them an oldling.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
His name's Mitch.
He's a lot older than me. Gray hairs coming out of everything, and they stick on my sweaters. Oh my goodness! I don't have that much gray.
I thought that was a distinguishing, not an oldling.
Distinguishing.
A distinguished oldling.
I'm not sure distinguished is the right word. We are talking about the significant other there.
Okay, so it is just a couple minutes past 8 o'clock. We didn't have a vendor last week, but I did put together, because I didn't want to go a second time without having some kind of prize giveaway to give to everybody. So I'm not going to show you what's inside it because it's a grab bag, but in this case it's a grab box. This is it. It is filled with things. Many things, actually. There's at least 5 different things in this box, and this is what is up for grabs tonight on the Wheel of Win. I also want to thank Baroness Gale, actually, for joining not just our Patreon, but also our YouTube. She joined our YouTube channel this week as an official member there, which all of you are welcome to do by pushing the little join button, which means you get 1 entry for being a member of the Patreon, 1 entry for being a member of the YouTubes, and 1 entry if you put the magic word into the comments after the show, which we didn't have one for last week because we didn't have an artist. So that one is out. But if you are a Patreon, you don't like anything. If you are a Patreon patron or a YouTube member, then you have automatic entries. And here, let me pull up the Wheel of Wind for us, and then we will have tonight's guest right after our drawing. Let's see here. Wheel of Wind, come to me. Let's see. And so there it is. All of
not a single sketch on this Wheel of Wind for our drawing.
There you go. Here we go, and
It's going, and it's going.
Jenny Olsen, congratulations! You are the winner of
The box.
this mystery box.
Dun dun dun.
Yes. So, I believe since it's only Patreon members and YouTube members tonight, then I already have your address. Therefore, you will be receiving this in the mail. And if you're not watching tonight, then it's just going to be a surprise that arrives at your door. And that will be awesome and probably make you feel good. But if it doesn't make you feel good, I'm so sorry. That will be very sad. Here's what I'm looking for. Yay. Okay. Okay, so with all of that said, it brings us time to have our artist come on with us, and I see you back there in the wings. So hello, Christine. How are you? You're on mute. So hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? I
am doing well. I can see your exciting setup that is behind you there.
There's half of me. Sorry, there's my whole face.
No, it's okay. We can actually embiggen you with the magic power.
Oh, look at that! That's awesome.
Right? So, yes, please, if you will, introduce yourself to our audience. And
I see a coffin.
Oh. He's all excited. He needs a coffin for his Valentine's voodoo doll.
That's awesome. Oh my God. That's awesome.
So, yes, please, if you will, tell us who you are, what you do, and please feel free to give any little shout outs to your people. And now you have the whole news crew and all of our audience here. And so if folks have questions, they can ask and we'll ask them to you. Let's hear it. Go.
Try to have answers. So hi, I'm Christine Baylog. I have been playing tag with you for a little while now. I'm sorry, I'm completely scatterbrained because I'm an artist. So I am the owner and creator behind Suds and Sculpts. So I make soap, but I turn soap into art. So the coffin that you are seeing, I'll actually start here because this is one of my favorites. That's actually soap in there. So I carved those soaps and I filled the coffin with little beautiful black crinkle paper and made kind of like a gift set out of it.
Wait,
for Valentine's Day.
And you made that moment very happy.
Yes.
As opposed to like having a mold and taking.
Yeah.
So what does that process look like?
It's insane. So I used to carve soap when I was little. I used to make little boats out of like just Dove bars, and it used to wicked make my mom mad. So it's kind of funny that I did a full circle and started doing this now. But I'm an oil painter, first and foremost. Like that's an oil painting behind me. And I actually avoided sculpture my whole like collegiate career. Like they're like, you have to take sculpture. And I'm like, I'm going to transfer out of this school and go to this university. And they're like, you have to take sculpture. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go to grad school. So like I never wanted to do it. And then I started with, I just started making little like rocks and crystal type looking soaps. And I started with molds and they looked like crap. They came out and it was just, I mean, they did not look appropriate. They did not look like crystals. And I was like, all right, I can't sell these. So I sat down with an X-Acto knife and just kind of got a block of soap and started carving. And then these ones it's actually my own recipe. So I do cold process soap. So it's a little bit different. Everything is made by hand, by scratch. It's all my own oils. It doesn't have any preservatives. It doesn't have any chemicals. There's nothing in it. It's like super, super, super healthy for you. But it's I developed a softer recipe. So it behaves like clay. I can actually take my soap and roll it and plop it down, like mold it like I do with my clay, and then I go in with an X-Acto knife and carve them out. So these flowers started as just big circles, and I just kind of carved it out like that. There are some things that are from molds, but I make my own molds because I don't want anybody else to be able to do what I do because I'm just weird like that. So like these skulls up here, I didn't carve these. These are molds. This one's actually a candle.
Oh, cool.
But I sculpted this and then made a mold of that. Isn't that beautiful?
Awesome.
Love it. Love it. You okay? Please don't die. Don't die on my watch. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. But then I started sculpting with clay and became obsessed. So I have this really big obsession with like miniatures. I can't help it. Like, and I mean, I'm not talking miniatures for games. I'm talking miniatures like the size of my fingernail because I'm crazy. And it's like, how small can I sculpt today? Right. So I started doing that and I started making these things. Oh my gosh. I had to put my coffee down. Sorry.
I love mini stuff.
Oh my God. Look at this.
Is it a candy apple? No. Oh.
No. It's sushi. It's ramen. Can you see that?
What in the heck? Hold it real still. I can totally, with little chopsticks sticking out of the bowl. And that's soap?
No, this is clay.
That one's clay. Oh, that is adorable.
Aren't they adorable? I love them. So
I was going to say, I can't see myself washing myself with that. Just saying.
No, the chopsticks might hurt a little bit.
Well, would that be where you held it?
Maybe. I don't know.
You hold it by the chopsticks and wash yourself with the bowl in the sushi bar.
I would pay to see somebody do that. I'm not even gonna lie. That would be awesome.
A great unboxing video. I mean, basically, it's the size. It's the size of washing your eyebrows. So you have, you know, your itty bitty little little chopsticks, and you're like,
yes. Or like exfoliating your lips really quick. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my God. Yeah, so wow, now I lost complete thought. Like, I don't even know.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I love it. No, so yeah, so I started
it's our job to put images in.
Sculpture
and
sculpture and soap came together and became a thing. That's why I'm Suds and Sculpts. I first was Renaissance soaps, but sculpture didn't fit with that at all. Right. So I'm like creating all of these worlds now with, I call them soapies, and they all have their own little stories, and you can buy them as a bundle. Like you can get, my specialty is whipped soap, and it looks like whipped cream. It's ridiculous. I love it. But I do these little sculptures that go with them, and then they all have their little backstories and their lore, and they come with like little certificates of adoption and things like that. So this little guy, if you can see the tiny things that I do. So his name is Kona. And he's Kona, the coffee soapy. So he is the guardian of my whipped coffee soap. So I don't know. It's just like really.
Show us more. These guys are great.
Oh, well, the most recent one I did, I woke up in the middle, and I'm sure all of you guys can understand this. It was like 4:00 in the morning, and I popped out of bed with this crazy idea. And I'm like, okay, I have to do this right now, because if I don't, I'm either going to forget or it's not going to come out the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
So
I know this feeling.
Right. So I have Spark. Oh, isn't he so cute? And he's so sad. And he's so sad because his big brother Chomp keeps eating his bubbles. So he's stealing his bubbles and eating them. And Spark, it's not finished yet, but this is Spark's bathtub. So he's going to be sitting in the bathtub with a bunch of bubbles, and Chomp's going to be like sitting behind it, kind of peeking over the bathtub, trying to get more bubbles.
It's reminding me of that game with the dragons, Bubble Bobble.
Why Bubble Bobble? Why is that familiar?
I think it's a very old game. It used to be on original Nintendo, I think. Well, it was in the arcades. That's where I know it from. And it's two little dragons named Bub and Bob, and they don't eat the bubbles. They shoot the bubbles out of their mouth.
I remember that game. Oh my God. That's probably where the influence is from, because this little guy, do you remember The Adventures of Lolo?
No.
If you play that, if you Google it, you will see. This is so funny. I made this and I was like, oh my God, he looks like he's from The Adventures of Lolo. That was such an awesome game. He's just like this little circular guy, and he ran around and he would like shoot bubbles out of his mouth and capture dragons and turn them into eggs, and he'd get on them. Like, it was a puzzle game you had to solve. And if like you were riding around on the lava, you'd have to jump on the egg, but you had to be careful and time it just right because the monster would crack the egg and wind up eating you if you didn't do it fast enough. Like, it's so good.
This is funny. So your soaps, they're counter soap productive essentially because they're so gorgeous that nobody could ever use them.
Aww. You know what's so funny is that last year, I always do this event. It's called Creative Women MiniCon. It's with Empire's Comics Vault in Sacramento. I'm local to Sacramento. And I had someone buy some of my bar soaps. I put them in these really beautiful organza bags and like it's very fancy. It's way too extra for soap, but I love it. But she bought all of these bars of soap. And then this year for Creative Women MiniCon, we did it online and she actually popped in and was making comments. And she's like, I still have my soaps from last year and I have not used them. And I have them in my car because they're perfect air fresheners because they smell so good. And I was dying. I was like, all right, that's
cool
great.
Use.
Yeah, right. But
Although
I think that's why
I'd be afraid if somebody lived in Phoenix, their soap would melt.
Yeah, you know what? Interestingly enough, my soap will not melt.
Oh.
So like glycerin soap, if I do like my whip soap, I have vegetable glycerin that I use, but it's liquid.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a bar of soap that melts, it's actually like condensed hard, like a solid glycerin. And that, for some reason, some chemical property it happens with, or chemical reaction happens with the heat and it'll melt it. But I don't have any glycerin in my soaps. So once they go through saponification, they're super hard. And they just, it doesn't matter what the temperature is. So they won't freeze and crack. They won't get out and melt.
Nice. Very durable.
Yeah, you could eat them. I suggest not because I get soap in my mouth all the time and it tastes nasty, but you literally could eat them.
Well, if you say the bad words, you have to, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on whose company you're in when you say them. Pick your company wisely.
You know, I think the bad words, they object. They're tired of being called bad, you know? They're just there to help people with their self-expression, and they get all the hate. So I want to see what's in the teacup.
Oh, this is my latest venture. So this is my little terrarium with my little mushy house and my crystals. So those are just clear quartz.
I love quartz.
That's adorable.
Isn't that so beautiful? I love this cup.
Yeah.
I almost didn't put a sculpture in that because I was like, wow, I really want to drink out of this cup. But yeah, so I'm starting to do terrariums out of teacups. They're like my teacup fairies, and I'm going to do espresso ones and things like that. And then, oh, this guy, I love this guy. So I believe in magic very much. I think you guys could probably tell that. But this is Aster, the spellcaster.
Aster, the spellcaster. Yeah, nobody here believes in magic. What are you talking
Not
about?
at all. Not at all. But he's
It just comes out of our ears.
But Aster, the spellcaster, has a cork on his head.
He's got a bottle.
Yeah.
So you can take the cork out and you can fill it with something if you want to, or you can leave it empty. It's his little potion bottle, and he's got bones, and I love his little bones. They're so cute. Hello.
I like this idea of having cool little bottle guardians.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what they are, right? So
yeah. And going off of that, I actually do make, I call these my Fairy jars. Because I like to make my own words too. And this is actually just like a little potion bottle. But what I do, this one is lapis, so I match the feathers to it, and then I grind my own pigments. For fun fact for anybody that wants to know, I'm way stuck in the 16th century. I'm actually a professor of art history in my professional life, so I'm super stuck in the 16th century. So I know how to grind rocks and all that stuff. So what I do with these is I'll take just like a raw specimen, and then I'll either find tumbled ones. Like lapis is super hard, so I can't grind it myself. Mm-hmm. But I put little tumbled ones in there, and then I put whatever inspires me, like what kind of moss in there, and then I put a little feather in there. And these are meant to be put by your bed or put somewhere where you need well wishes or need reminding that your day is going to be really good. And they're like dreaming jars, and they kind of help you. So I think they're super cute. I love these little guys.
I think it's pretty impressive that you grind your own pigments. I mean, that's a thing.
You want to see, this is so cool. So I don't know if you can you see in there?
Up a little bit? Yeah, there you go. And so what is that? It kind of
Is your mortal pestle is it
marble?
Marble?
Yeah.
Oh, I have an obsidian one.
Oh, that has to be gorgeous.
The flake
my
obsidian.
God.
I will go grab that and try to show it off.
Oh, I would love to see it. Yeah, I use the marble one because it's wicked heavy. So what's in there? It's called Realgar. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I have to use a respirator mask when I do that though because it's arsenic. So just so everybody like don't try this at home, seriously. But it's a 16th century pigment artist that I study, Caravaggio. He specifically used that color. So it looks orange in there, but when you use it, it is this ridiculous transparent yellow. So if you're trying to get like warm candlelight shadows on something, if you use that, oh my gosh, it's perfect. Yeah.
But what do you mean it's arsenic?
It's arsenic. The rock, the mineral that it actually comes from, it's arsenic. So they actually grind that to make it into powder to make torpedoes out of. So it's highly poisonous. So grinding it, if you're not wearing a mask, you could potentially kill yourself.
Oh, wow. And that is, it's spelled R-E-A-L-G-A-R. Realgar or Realgar.
Yeah, I say Realgar. I don't know if that's right. I pronounce words really weird.
An arsenic sulfide mineral.
And I have a huge piece of it. I have like a 15-pound piece of it in my bedroom under a fish tank.
Okay, so I have a question regarding this whole pigment process, which I'm finding quite fascinating. If you don't mind my asking.
Oh, you're fine.
So when you, a pigment is made from a rock, right? Yes. Okay. So, well, yeah, I mean, I know that they can be made from like, berries and leaves and other things as well, but these ones we're talking
mostly for fabric, though. So, like if you take beetroots and you grind them, and you get that really beautiful, purple, that's more of a dye than it is an actual pigment for painting. It absorbs and it actually soaks better into fabric and it'll stay permanently. Whereas if I tried to paint with it, it'll go on fantastic. But if I try to paint over it, it's going to be lost. It doesn't blend.
The difference between a watercolor and an oil painting, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Yeah.
So I guess my question is when you grind the rock, then how does I don't understand how the color comes out of it because it doesn't, I mean, it just becomes then rock dust. And so I'm not sure I understand how it pigments something unless I'm not understanding what a pigment really is, which is also possible.
No, you're totally correct. It is dust. That's all it is. So you will get a pile of, let's see. Where are you? Sorry, somebody talk. I'm looking for something.
Well, I mean, this is super fascinating, and I'm not paying a special attention to the part where you can make arsenic out of rocks or anything like that.
Please don't. I did not teach you that. I did not. I am not responsible.
So if I'm not here in the morning,
you brought this on yourself because I heard you talking about how fun murder is. So, and I heard that, so I am not.
I think we were talking about bullets there, though. Yeah,
I suddenly feel like I have a very short life expectancy.
Well, you do.
I'm sorry. Did somebody mention murder? I was away for a second.
Oh my God! No murder. The word murder.
No. You wrote that up yourself. Okay, can you see this?
Yes. Hold on. Let me embiggen it. There you are. Okay. Clear.
So, yes, this is Rublev. I do not grind glass because I can't. There's a lot of rocks that are too hard. You can go to the Home Depot and ask them if they'll actually put it into one of the paint shakers for you. That's how you can either tumble rocks or you can grind them. But you see how fine that is? Can you tell?
Yes.
That is literally dust. Right. So what this is this, I use this for my grounds, or if I really want a beautiful, almost like a shimmering sparkle to my paintings, I will go over part of this white with a little bit of that. And it'll really pull this nice iridescent shimmer. Ooh. But all you do after you get this is you have this.
Which is what?
Linseed oil. That's all it is.
Oil.
Linseed oil. I use safflower oil. I use linseed oil. I use poppy seed oil. I use stand oil. I use a ton of different oils. And the viscosity is the only thing that changes. So if you want something to be really heavy and really thick and like impasto and that kind of stuff, you want to use a stand oil. If you want it more like a watercolor, more malleable, you want to use a linseed oil. Like this stuff is super liquid.
Wow.
And
so you mix these things together, and this is what makes a pigment. And a pigment is not meant to soak into a thing. It is meant to sit on top of it and thereby sort of create a layer of color on top of something, kind of in the way that you would put like a filter, like a plastic filter, say on a camera or a light for a stage. You get those plastic filters that make red or yellow or. Okay, so that makes so much better sense to me now.
The one thing I do need to point out, though, is like this painting behind me, that's actually linen. So it is fabric. So you actually have to treat that before you paint on it. Otherwise, it will just absorb and you won't have a painting. It'll just like soak it in. So what you do is you can make a ground, which is what I do with this stuff. I also use rabbit skin glue and things like that to make a ground, and lead white is a wonderful, wonderful ground. And you do that, let it dry, and then you can paint on top of it. Like I said, I'm stuck in the 16th century. So
here's a question from the audience, which is, how does the color not melt, quote unquote, over time?
On a painting or on soap?
I don't know. Do you have an answer for that? On painting or on soap? If
I had to guess, I'm guessing they mean the soap. But
soap.
I don't know how that would apply to a painting at all.
I don't either. That's why I asked. So here's a perfect little example. This is a soap. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And this color on here. Yeah, I made this mold. The color on here, once you wash with it, the color will be on.
The color will be on.
It just sits on the top of the soap.
So on the painting is the question. Is the color
on the painting?
Yes. So
yeah. Wow, I don't know how to answer that. But it won't melt. Maybe you can light it on fire. It will light on fire.
Do you mean run as opposed to melt? Like, how does it not run? Maybe.
Oh. Okay, maybe that's what they mean. So if you get it liquidy enough, it will run. But it dries over. I shouldn't say dries. It never really dries. Oil paint cures. So like I can touch this. It's dry to the touch, but it'll never actually dry. It cures.
Because it's oil.
Yeah. But I mean, when you have paint, so I do buy paints too. I love Old Holland. But if you see this.
Yeah.
You see how thick that is? Yes. Coming out of that tube. Here, I'll show you guys. I don't even care to get it on my skin. Look how thick that is.
Oh, wow.
So that's what paint is like when you get it out of the tube. And then if you mix it with oil, I probably should have put that on my palette and not my fingers. That's awesome. Let me put some oil paint on my fingers because it's permanent.
What we do for teaching, right?
Love paint so much. Can you tell? Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
Bright light like the sun will bleach out the color.
I love puffing paint. I mean, I love paint too.
Yeah. Wait, who just said that about the sun?
Wait,
I said it. Bright light like the sun.
Life. You win at life. You're so right. So if you actually take lead white yellows over time, if you put it in the sun, it'll turn white again. It's crazy. It's so cool. Chemistry. So now I have paint all over me.
That is why he is our human magic expert.
Yes. I love magic.
All right. I have my.
Sorry, not you, Gilmore.
I have my mortar.
And so I kind of want to see more of these little sculptures that you have behind you. I see you've got some gnomes there.
I do.
That little Cyclops guy on that second shelf from the bottom. Like, what's he? He looks cute. I want you to see them all. I mean, maybe not actually literally, but you know what I mean.
I do. And I'm going to show you one of my favorites talking about gnomes if you would like to see him. because so this is soap.
Wow.
So the top is my whipped soap that I was talking about. Isn't that cool? It looks like whipped cream.
I am having a serious urge to smell all of them, and I can't.
This one smells like cotton candy. Yum! Oh, it smells so good. You would want to eat it. It smells like cotton candy. It's so good.
Mental note: invent smell-o-vision.
Yes. So this is Gary.
Oh, Gary's a gnome. Oh, nice.
The ice cream cone gnome. He's got an ice cream cone hat.
That's the best.
Isn't he so cute? So he comes with the little ice cream. So those are my bundles. So that way you have something permanent, because I mean, these soaps are really cool, but like, I agree with the person who was like, God, I would never want to use them. Like, this is so cute, but you can use it and then you can have him as a reminder.
That is a good idea.
And I don't know if any of you know Good Omens. I'm assuming you do.
It's like one of my favorite shows and books.
Yes, me too. So I made Crowley.
Okay, that guy is totally cute.
That's amazing.
You made Crowley. You made the dragon Crowley from Good Omens. So,
and I made Aziraphale holding a crepe.
oh my gosh, I love it.
Isn't that so great?
It's amazing.
So cute. I actually have Good Omens soap. They're my best seller. I call one Aziraphale's crepes and one 34 Bentley. And they're just wonderful. One is a very deep, like musky, it's like a black amber scent. And then the other one, it smells like crepes. It's so good. So good.
Try not to eat the soap. Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
I want teeny tiny things too.
Oh my God. Teeny tiny things, really.
I like teeny tiny stuff. I do.
I do too. Look how teeny tiny this little, sorry about the white pigment all over my fingers. Look at this little pumpkin. Goes with this. Yes. I have to put these on these little pieces of wood because they're so tiny.
They'd get lost otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And the moon and that little pumpkin with the kitty cat, they glow in the dark.
What?
Yeah,
that's cool.
They glow in the dark. I love them. And this one, I'm such a dork. This is my Halloween sushi bowl, and he thinks everything is boo sheet.
I just face palmed. Just saying.
This isn't, I didn't sculpt this bowl. This is an actual real like dipping bowl. But he loves his sushi, so he's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, but mini food sculpture things are a thing for me. So I have all kinds of, like, I've said this before on the show, but I have all kinds of like mini food rings and earrings and things, and that is ridiculous. I love it.
Oh, cute! Slopping up the roll.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm just looking at you holding that in your fingers, going, "Dang, it's itty bitty." So,
wait, where's my? Oh, here you go. Here's more sushi.
It's making me hungry.
Talk about tiny. These things are, I mean, look at that sushi compared to my finger.
Oh my gosh.
So little.
You must have extremely steady hands to.
I do. Which is crazy because I drink a ton of coffee. But I get super focused and just, I dropped my sushi.
No.
Okay.
Whatever, 3-second rule.
No, it's the clay sushi. I'm not gonna eat it. It's the clay
sushi. I mean, I'm just saying. Well, so I have several websites for you here that I have, and do they all go to the same place approximately, or do they have different things on them? Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Yeah, so they don't go to the same place.
Okay.
I have a million different things going on all the time. So my ChristineBaylog.com, that's more of my academic. That's for my books and my comic books and kind of like that life. Mm-hmm. And then I have my Etsy, which is my soaps and my sculptures. And then Alchemimental is actually a fantasy game, a board game that I created last year.
Wow.
So it's completely out of the realm of all of this stuff. So,
do you actually ever sleep?
nope.
Nope.
You know, I'm glad you asked that because I don't. And people are like, that's not healthy. And I actually found out, and I don't know how true this is, but I did the, wasn't the Ancestry, it was 23andMe. And they came back and they sent me this thing that said, my brain actually doesn't produce some chemical that makes you feel tired.
Melatonin?
No, it's a weird, I'll have to look
melatonin?
it up. It's like this stupid melatonin. It's not melatonin.
Okay.
Or dopamine or serotonin. No, it's a weird thing. And I'm like, so apparently I'm an alien and I just don't require sleep like other
I
people.
wish my brain did that.
Yeah, no kidding. I want that superpower, right? Think of how much more I could get done. It'd be awesome.
I think I got an hour and a half.
I am hallucinating though.
You know what? 72
I'm afraid
hours.
I need to pop off.
What? Already?
Yeah, unfortunately,
Good
there's a
night,
thing. But
I don't know. I don't want to give him too much trouble because I don't know what's happening, but he looks sort of distressed. So there could be a dog thing going on. I don't know. So
He's very pale. I don't know how you can tell.
with this face. I need to pop off.
No, he did send a message out saying that he needed to go further.
And also this like he looked very distressed.
I know.
Yeah.
More distressed than normal.
He looked as if he didn't want to talk about it. So back to the stuff.
Okay,
Sushi.
I say here. Let me begin you. I say one more thing here, and then now we're at 8:35, so I know you have a giveaway item, and that one I just put that back up on the screen real quick before we see the giveaway item because
That is an adorable fish.
it is really cute.
It's my sushi cat.
Man, I want to eat them all so bad. It's making
Right. I think I need sushi now. Seriously.
I love sushi.
I do too. Oh my god, so much.
I think that was obvious.
No.
I think you might like ramen too.
I do. Oh my god. If I could eat that every day, I would. Ugh. Okay. So I'm ready. I'm going to blow your mind. See this?
Yes, the cute little mushroom house.
Is it soap or is it clay?
I would.
That's a trick question.
I would have guessed clay
I
until
would have
you
guessed clay
asked the
until you
question.
said that.
Yeah, until I asked the question. Yeah, no, this one's soap. So my giveaway is a little soap and a little teeny tiny. Right there's my fingernail with this, and I'm sorry about the glare. That's a little mushroom.
That's okay.
Little baby mushy.
I would
And
feel
that's clay.
awkward myself at someone's house.
Those are so. Can you imagine that, having it sitting in your bathroom like this beautiful soap sculpture, and then just I don't know somebody like Borat comes over and just like grabs it and is like
Just starts washing their hands.
You're washing their hands with your beautiful soap sculpture. Oh my god. You just see your eye twitching like
Oh my god.
that would be the worst.
That would be so funny to see though. Like it'd be funny if it wasn't you.
So that's our giveaway item then for next week is the sculpture, the soap sculpture, and the little a terrarium? Is that what you
I
call
call it a terrarium. His name is Teeny Weeny Mushy Sweeney, if you want to get
teeny weeny, itsy bitsy teeny weeny.
Exactly. Oh, I need to make a little tiny bikini. I'm gonna do.
What if the Alps grinder famous Dana has?
Huh? There's her.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Holy cow, that's a beast. Oh, I love that.
You're on mute, famous Dana, so I can't hear. She was trying to say something.
Well, that's okay because I wasn't saying anything. It's
just showing off your beautiful bowl.
That is gorgeous.
It has a. Pass those.
I like the sound it makes when they touch.
have to put next to my microphone. I'm getting exercise holding this thing up.
I like this. Sushi cat is my spirit animal.
I love you, Persephone. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. That just made my whole day.
So this brings us to the part where you guys help us pick our magic word for next week. So suggestions on what this week's magic word should be.
Well, it sounds like sushi cat.
It does sound like sushi cat.
Sushi cat is a pretty good suggestion, I think, for
I like that
magic word. Anybody else think they can top sushi cat?
I could, but I'm not gonna.
Sushi cat. Okay, I think sushi cat is it. That will be. I love this magic word. This one's so fun. This is our official magic word for next week. So for those of you who are watching who don't know what I'm talking about, after the show, and only on YouTube, not on the Facebooks, go to the comments and put the word sushi cat into the comments, and you will be entered to win that amazing soap mushroom sculpture and the little mushroom clay mushroom terrarium. And also, if you will hop on over to Christine's Instagram or her Etsy store where you can follow her Facebook, hop on over to any and all of her places and give her some follows and supports and shopping and all of the good things. So that's, yes, show the loves. And no, mushroom bikini is probably not what we want for a magic word.
What about mushkini?
It's not any worse than butt soap.
I remember that magic word. No, it was all about spiders and things, and where does silk come from? And
that's awesome.
And Stormy, who is not with us tonight, had suggested the butt silk, but
I love it.
Yes, tonight's magic word is sushi cat. So, and now I can't. Now I have that song in my head, except for instead of smelly cat, it's sushi cat. Sushi cat, sushi cat.
What are they feeding you?
What are they feeding you? Sushi cat. It's not your fault.
I don't know if I can handle any more of this tonight.
I seem to hear that a lot.
So the other two ways to get entries into the drawing are, of course, to join by pushing the join button, join our YouTube channel, and or join our Patreon. You can get one additional entry per each one of those things that you do for every drawing, not just for this one. And those ones are automatic. So even if you miss a show or whatever, you'll automatically get put in. You don't have to worry about it. So
if you do all three, that's 3 entries.
1, 2, 3. It's the magic number. All right, Christine, is there anything that you would like to say to everybody before we let you go tonight?
Thank you for letting me put paint all over myself and talk about it, because there's nothing that makes me happier than doing stuff like this. So it was awesome. I'm so honored to have been here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. So it's your amazing stuff.
So I actually like this. So that was a thing.
He doesn't like anything. It takes him 2 days to like anything. He hates it all, and then 48 hours later, he's like, actually, that's kind of cool.
I win. I don't know what I win, but I win.
We probably all learned something today, which is even better.
I feel like I learned an awesome amount. Well, I know who the painter is that you were talking about, Caravaggio. So I was very fascinated with hearing about all of the pigmentation and how that was super really truly super fascinating to me. I mean, I know I joked a lot about things, but I find all of that quite fascinating.
I found new ways to poison my enemies.
Did you know that
I am not responsible?
Well, I mean, you normally just bludgeon them with the rocks, and so
exactly.
To be fair, I knew arsenic was in lots of places. So. Make batteries out of it.
I mean, I might be making torpedoes. You never know.
Did you know that the
It's in your average
Vatican,
car.
Awesome. Just
It's in your
by
average
itself.
car battery.
which is painted with lapis lazuli pigment paints in the Vatican, that was because Michelangelo didn't want to paint the Vatican. He did not want that job from the Pope, and in order to try to deter the church from pressuring to hire him, he chose the absolute most expensive possible paints at that time, thinking that they will be like, this is ridiculous, we will not pay this money. But then they came back and said, no, we will. Here's your funding.
As
Go
it turns
paint
out,
our
indulgences
thing.
are profitable.
Yeah, and then there he was stuck painting that thing that he apparently was not all that thrilled about having to paint. So
He got fired multiple times from that. And one of my favorite stories to tell my students about Michelangelo is actually he punched the Pope, inadvertently, not knowing it, because he wouldn't allow anybody in to see what he was doing. He was like, no, you have to wait. In progress. He was a very temperamental artist. Most of them were back then. But the Pope dressed up like just a commoner to go in there, because he figured if he just walked in and pretended he was one of his assistants,
yes,
and he turned and he punched him in the face, because you're not supposed to be in here. And then he realized it was the Pope, and that was one of the times he got fired. And he almost went blind.
Oh, you're in disguise, for crying out loud. I mean,
Prince and the Pauper story, right?
Because if you dress up as a commoner or whatever, and then you go in, and your purpose is to disguise yourself, you can't hardly get frustrated at somebody when they sock you in the face for trespassing because they didn't recognize you.
Exactly. And he should have been like bowing and, oh my gosh, you know how like the little girls with New Kids on the Block, they were like, oh my god, he sweat on me. It'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Michelangelo touched me. He touched me. I'm never washing my face
Never washing my face again. Right. So, okay.
Thank you.
And, yeah, I'm laughing and talking and making me all run out of breath. Okay. Into my cheeks. Okay. So with that said, we will bid you a good evening. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm really excited about this week's giveaway, even though we can't enter the giveaway. I just think it's super cool and amazing. So thank you so much for your generosity.
Thank you so much.
Oh, do you have D20 soaps? Somebody saw a D20 soap back there? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, you mean on her website? Is that what you're doing over there?
I do.
Her voice is back.
I'm like, wait, just listen. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I do. I have them on my website. They're on Etsy.
There you go. D20 soaps, indeed. See what I did there? I know, thrilling. Okay, big breath. Okay, so that brings us on to that time of the show where we do weird and wacky news, you guys. And I should put the magic word into the comments for everybody. Yes. Let me see. Is this where? There we go. The magic word is sushi cat. Sushi cat. Sushi cat.
This is better than like magic mushrooms.
I don't know.
Magic cleaning mushrooms.
So there's our magic word going down there.
I got this thing after that little segment, though. If your house is full of things like that, like the mushrooms and little things here and there, how would you know what to wash yourself with? Can you just imagine picking up random things and just getting in after it? Then realizing it's not lavender, or it's not whatever.
That's why.
And then you have
all live in the bathroom.
Next thing you know, you set it down and it's a conversational piece and it smells like troll feet, and you can't really explain that to people without them getting.
So it does not wash away the fragrance of troll feet by absorbing it into itself and then smelling like troll feet when you put it down. It washes it off. And
it's self-cleaning that way.
So that's how you know you have the sculpture, not the soap. Got it.
The clay instead of the soap. That's why everyone should buy 2 of everything, so you can try out whether or not washing yourself with a mini sushi ramen bowl with chopsticks is helpful or not.
So I know I have a vendor friend. The name of their business is literally Sculpture Soaps. And so if you want to be completely confused about whether or not you have the sculpture or the soap, you can get one from them. Yes, they're not hand carved though. They are not their process for doing it is quite different than Christine's. So but there you go. If you want to be truly confused.
I imagine they probably use less materials that are used in making torpedoes.
Get one from each and then be highly confused.
And really confused. You'll be meta confused. Oh man. Okay. So Gunther, it's gossip time and go.
What?
It's gossip time while I pick out whatever our drawing is supposed to do.
Oh, that's funny. I don't have gossip. I got pictures, remember?
Nope, I forgot.
You always forget. Hang on. I get you a picture.
So our audience has given a suggestion for you that you use the liquid soap that's marked for the troll.
You know, if I could, you know, I just learned to read. You're asking me to do that in the shower now when I have, you know, things in my it could work. Or, you know, just don't put sculptures in the bathroom. That'd be okay.
You don't put sculpture soap in the shower either. You put it where people can see it. Because, you know, you close the curtain to the shower when you don't want anyone to see you in your tub.
Get all mafioso boss with the shower.
Well, yeah, because if you put it in the shower, you might confuse it for something else.
Like what?
Rubber duckies and toys.
What a good idea to make your soap out of. To
Yeah,
make it look like a rubber ducky.
You know, I think that's been done.
Make bathtub time so much fun.
Oh no, we're gonna start.
And if it's the right kind of soap, it'll float.
I mean, that's true too.
So, because
What are you talking? What do you want about? She's making faces about the news articles.
I thought she was making fun of our rubber ducky soaps.
I think she just like eliminated most of my news articles anyway. I don't know
And
why.
on to other news.
On to other news.
What happens every week that will happen every week because it happens every week?
I have to go pay during the show.
That doesn't count.
That happens every week.
Fair.
I yell at the cats at least, you know, twice a day.
And then yell back.
Yeah, they do sometimes. And that's the thing I have is during the show. I've already started yelling at them right
You
now.
didn't even have any pictures. Okay, so you didn't have any pictures or any gossip. Good job.
You didn't edit.
What is that thing?
Read it.
In 1979, a gold mine. Well, I'm not supposed to read it. I'm supposed to be looking for articles.
In 1979, a gold miner in Alaska discovered a well-preserved body of a bison. He named it Blue Babe because the bison's mummified hide had a metallic blue sheen to it. And it was not no ordinary bison. Researchers found out that it was a male steppe bison that died 36,000 years ago. Ooh.
Ancient and old. Okay, I'm ready. I have our articles. So hold on for a second while we do this.
Okay.
Okay, you guys. Here it is. This is what we're gonna fight over. Why are these even? I just don't even know these articles. But article number 1, because these seem to be in a strange category with each other. Article number 1 is the first preserved dinosaur butthole is perfect and unique.
That's Count Morbid.
Paleontologist says the first preserved dinosaur butthole is article number 1. The article number 2 is A Wiltshire referral center treats world first dual penis dog successfully. So it's a dog with a dual wang. Yeah. Yeah. So it either you get to hear about number one, the first preserved dinosaur butthole, or number two, the dual dog bone. That's it. So now is the time that you put into the comments which one of these you want to hear about. Number one for the butthole, or number two for the dog bone. There you go. And yes, Ion, the timer started. I see that. And yes, now is the time. Whoo boy. Okay, so go ahead and read your thing, guys.
That was weird. I didn't mute myself. And, whoa, that's pretty.
It is great.
In 2002, a car was reported run off the road in Surrey, England by multiple witnesses. Police arrived at the spot and found no sign of a crash. After careful search, the car and driver, Christopher Chandler, were finally found. It was revealed that the accident occurred 5 months earlier. So was this a residual haunt, or was it mass hysteria?
Maybe a little both.
Yeah, is that it?
Timers ran out.
The timer has run out, and the votes are in. All of them are for number one. I think that the dual dog bone was too scary for everybody. There was actually pictures in that article too, and trust me, they were
Graphic.
explicit.
Gross. They were gross.
So here we go. I guess dinosaur butthole it is. I don't even know what is happening right now.
Should it be more like a cloaca on a dinosaur?
I don't know what even that word means.
It's the on birds and quite a few lizards. There's one opening for excrement, urination, and sex, and it's called a cloaca.
All right, here we go. The first preserved dinosaur butthole is perfect and unique, paleontologist says. Let's see. The first dinosaur butthole ever discovered is shedding light where the sun don't shine. The discovery reveals how dinosaurs...
I'm so embarrassed.
Used this multi-purpose opening. Oh, so I guess you're right about a cloaca.
Yeah, something like that. I might not be pronouncing it right either.
The discovery reveals how dinosaurs used this multi-purpose opening, scientifically known as a cloacal vent, for pooping, peeing, breeding, and egg laying. The dinosaur's derriere is so well preserved, researchers could see the remnants of 2 small bulges by its back door, which may have housed musky scent glands that the reptile possibly used during courtship, an anatomical quirk also seen in living crocodilians, said scientists who studied the specimen. I mean, is this the picture of it right here? I can't. This drawing shows how the dinosaur Psittacosaurus may have used its cloacal vent, aka butthole, for signaling during courtship. Wow. Okay. Although the dinosaur's caboose shares some characteristics with the backsides of some living creatures, it's also a one-of-a-kind opening, the researchers found. The anatomy is unique. Study lead researcher Jakob Vinther, a paleobiologist at the University of Bristol in the United Kingdom, told Live Science. It doesn't quite look like the opening on birds, which are the closest living relatives of dinosaurs. It does look a bit like a back opening on a crocodile, he said, but it's different in some ways. It's its own cloaca, shaped in its perfect, unique way. Wow. The well-preserved booty belongs to the dinosaur Psittacosaurus, a bristly-tailed, Labrador-sized, horn-faced dinosaur, meaning, man, that's like a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater, meaning it was a relative of the Triceratops. Like its famous tri-horned cousin, the Psittacosaurus lived during the Cretaceous period, which lasted from about, this always drives me nuts. It lasted from about 145 million years ago to 65 million years ago. So this always drives me nuts because I'll tell you what, from article to article, they may as well just say a long, long time ago, because whether or not it was 145 million years or 125 million years, super does not like stick in my head or make a difference to me. How long ago was it? Millions of years.
Well, they're just trying to tell you when the Cretaceous period was, right? As opposed to the Jurassic or the Triassic.
Right. What I'm saying is all of them are millions of years ago and a long, long time. So that's just how they are. I mean, I don't work in this field, so it isn't relevant for me to have it specifically memorized the exact BCE years of all of these weird periods. So, and then when animals inside of them live. Previously, this dude and his colleagues had studied the Psittacosaurus specimen found in China to determine its skin color. At the time, he noted that its nether regions were preserved. Well, there it is, guys. I guess there is its buttholes.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't like it.
Then I got a chance to look at the specimen again up close. Like, there it is, guys. There it is. It's its buttholes. But then he got a chance to look at it up close.
Brown eye for the weird guy.
Oh no, that's not okay.
Didn't say it was. It's just what silk?
Okay. Oh my God, the cloaca is actually quite well preserved, and we can actually see some anatomy that I didn't think we could see, Vinther said. So he took a closer look with study co-researchers Robert Nichols, a paleo artist, and Diane Kelly, an expert on vertebrate penises and copulatory systems.
It's the darker.
That's her title, right? What are you?
That is some weird words.
It's a zoological Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Yeah.
It kind of is. I'm just saying that is quite the that's a paleo whatever. Well, it sounds quite interesting. What does that study? I study penises and copulatory systems. I mean, I just say. Just imagine being at like your global like scientific conference, right, where everybody goes to talk about the new developments in their field, and this you have to say that over and over and over again to colleagues you've never met from around the world with a straight face, right? At the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Okay.
How many? All right, quick quiz for the audience. I don't know the answer to this, but I'm wondering if we could guess how many of those experts there are in the world.
How do you even try to find out the answer to that?
Google. Uncle Google knows everything. But I don't want them to look it up. I want them to guess.
A new one is added every day. Every day someone becomes a sphincter expert.
Do you wonder? I wonder if the state.
Listen. I prefer the term paleoproctologist. Okay. I think I just killed the princess.
I think I have some support from the audience right now with the comment. Okay.
Well, my family used to own an automobile proctology plant.
This is, you know what? I can't even argue with that. I mean, that's got to be one of the most interesting people to sit next to. That is such a valid point right now. Oh my God. Okay. I was reading things, and yes, back to reading now. Where was I? Yes, let's see. None of the reproductive soft tissues, like a penis, were preserved. So,
darn.
So I like this. The researchers can't say whether the dinosaur was a male or a female. So that means that potentially male dinosaurs had these pheromone glands for attracting, hold on. If it has this organ, and this organ is supposed to be used for the sexy time, how does another animal with the same organ have sexy time with this animal with the same organ? Unless this organ, I don't see. I just don't understand how
you need to find the paleo OBG to understand what's going on.
the paleo BG. I guess I'm just trying to say that if they know that dinosaurs do exist with a penis, and this one doesn't have that, but it does have this, then doesn't that narrow it down? Like, that means.
Well, but the males also have the cloaca.
Does that mean that males can also have the butt sex? I don't understand what's happening right now.
So I'm going to just put this out there that this is paleo sex ed was not offered in college. Okay.
Not in school.
Yeah, not definitely. I don't think in any school. Okay.
But clearly in a school.
Well, if they laid eggs
at the university
and the eggs were fertilized after they were laid, then they wouldn't actually have any quinks.
Oh. How do you fertilize an egg?
That's actually not probably happening here, but that's okay.
But I mean, how do you even do that? Like, once the egg is laid, there's like the stuff is inside of the egg.
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not. I don't have those types of things.
She didn't go to paleo sex ed.
She missed that day.
Involved in school.
I have to say that I'm pretty sure that at least 2 out of 3 of my children were not hatched.
2 out of 3.
I know your kids, and I'm pretty sure that at least 2 out of the 3
That
were
was looking at me like, wait a minute, which one?
Okay, to get a more complete picture of Psittacosaurus's cloacal vent, Kelly compared it with those of living land vertebrates. The vent is the opening, and the cloaca, which comes from the Latin word for sewer, imagine that, is the muscular chamber behind it. Based on its preserved anatomy, the opening could have been either horizontally oriented like a bird's or vertically oriented like a crocodile cloaca. Well, that's weird and interesting. Moreover, the team noticed that the outer regions of the cloaca were covered with a dark shade of melanin. Perhaps this darkly pigmented area was a type of visual display similar to bright red butts seen in baboons, the researchers said. The reddish-brown Psittacosaurus was counter-shaded, meaning it had a dark back and a light underside, so its pigmented posterior would have stood out, he said. This dark melanin may have also provided antimicrobial protection, something seen in humans. We have melanin in certain parts of the body that never sees the light of day. Our liver is chock full of melanin because we don't want microbial infections in these places. The pigmented lobes on each side of the dinosaur's anal opening might have held musk-secreting glands, the researchers said. These glands are found in both male and female crocodilians, and in those creatures, they release a fatty, smelly substance during courtship. Let's see. Like most land vertebrates, except for mammals, which have more than one hole for defecation, urination, and reproduction, the dinosaur used its hole for everything, which explains why researchers found a fossilized poop in its butt. Great. It's like a Swiss Army knife of excretory openings. No, I didn't just say that.
So it's been a great show, guys.
I'm broken. Let's see. The same Psittacosaurus cloacal vent was described in October 2020 when another team posted their research in in some database, meaning it has yet to be peer-reviewed or published in a journal. Winter, who had shared his data with that team for another project, said the researchers used the cloacal vent data without his permission. However, there were misunderstandings and miscommunications about the nature of the research on both sides. Let's see. Oh, I guess that sounds like some inner science gossip right there.
That's an academia drama.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
It's practically a soap opera.
That's kind of what it sounds like. Woo! Okay, now I'm going to go pick 2 more articles, and there you go, Gunther. There's your picture stream.
Giant rats have been trained to sniff out 14,000 landmines and other exploding arsenal. The rats, which undergo 9 months of training, are light enough not to trigger the explosive. They literally work for peanuts. I mean, that's pretty intense. This is for Count Morbid. He's not here right now, but he would appreciate this. Famous data does too.
Okay, I have our articles.
Okay, what's the articles?
So we're going to have a competition between animal companions here. And number 1 is owner spends $300 to treat his dog's limping. Later finds out he was imitating him out of sympathy. Number 2 is Colorado Chicken's owner spends $10,000 on life-saving heart surgery for bird soulmate. So if you would like to hear the limping dog story, then press number 1. And if you would like to hear the chicken bird soulmate story, press number 2. Number 1 for limping dog, number 2 for chicken bird soulmate. Hey, look, dying to go camping seems to have summoned Count Ebullient back to us. Ebullient.
I thought that somebody was talking about a hearse, so I had to come back.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny is I had no idea this was. I mean, it's not like I've been watching in the background, unfortunately, because I had to deal with something else. But I love that I came back during this.
During the hearse camping thing.
Yeah. That's very beautiful, but I'm disturbed by how one might sit in it. Like, do you straddle the owl head?
Very carefully.
Yes,
Very
and
carefully.
then you straddle the owl head, and then you do one of those luck dragon things where you're like, yeah! That's exactly.
I just remember the horse from that movie.
It says Irukandji, the smallest jellyfish in the world. It's one of the most feared, capable of delivering a sting 100 times as potent as that of a cobra and 1,000 times as strong as a tarantula, commonly found in the waters of Australia.
I bet it makes great seasoning.
Australia wants to kill you.
So the timer has run out, but we haven't yet had a vote for whether or not we're dealing with the limping dog or the chicken soulmate, which I'm assuming is a biscuit.
I'm just saying there are a bunch of people out there watching, and we have no votes. So, Ion, what do you want to hear about? What do you want to hear about, the limping dog or the chicken soulmate?
So I'm curious. Okay, I'm going to vote for
number 1 for the dog. Number 2 for the one. Dana, what do you want? Yes, hold your fingers up. Everybody hold your fingers up. Okay, so we have 4 votes because Cobble chimed in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 votes for 1 and 1 vote for 2. Okay, here we go. Limping dog it is.
Did you already do the dinosaur story?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
The buttholes. Yep, we did it.
Yes. Did anyone? Was I the one who?
Paleoproctology. That's what I'm saying.
Did somebody else submit that as well, or was it just me? Because I'm sorry I missed the butthole.
It was both you and I. Like I had pulled it, then you pulled it. It was hilarious.
I
Sorry,
mean,
I missed the
kind of
perfect
wanted to
butthole.
hear about the. I kind of wanted to hear about the chicken bird soulmate, but dog it is. So let's see. Where's my? Here we go. Where's my share button? All right, here we go.
Is a chicken soulmate mashed potatoes or?
No, I think it's a chicken, a real chicken.
So it's not a biscuit.
No.
Wait,
No,
is that why
you're
they went
right.
to the other side of the road?
No, they went to the other side of the road because you didn't cook them enough.
Oh man. Okay, let's see. Oh, I don't know what you're doing over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it a chicken soulmate like dumplings?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gunther is doing a thing, and I don't know what it is. So he'll be gone for just a second. So here we go. Dogs and humans have a special connection. I almost said condition. After all, they are called a man's best friend. Many dogs have specialized training to help the ill or the injured, or even non-trained dogs seem to sense whenever their owners are unhappy. However, one particular dog's sympathy for his owner resulted in a big financial hiccup for his dad. A man spent upwards of 300 pounds, which is, I don't know, probably something like $420, to get his seemingly injured dog checked up. As it turns out, the dog wasn't injured at all, but pretending to limp in sympathy for his owner, who had a fractured leg. Many animals are known to mimic human. Does this thing even are these pictures? How can you can't tell that the dog is limping in these pictures? Like what the heck?
That's because it's a still picture.
I know. I'm
That's how
saying
still
we need a
pictures
video,
work.
not that's ridiculous. Why would you post a still picture? We want a live video so we can see the limping dog. Otherwise, how do I know they didn't even just make this whole article up entirely?
Like,
well, if you're so dissatisfied, why don't you do the thing about the chicken?
But dogs do pick up on things about their owners. That's why Sunny is always licking her butthole.
Oh my God! Shut up, Count. Silence. Okay.
Good thing I came back. Yeah.
Yes, thank goodness you're here. Many animals are known to mimic human behavior. Parrots repeat our speech. Monkeys in training repeat actions, and so on. Well, what do the monkeys do after they're out of training?
I too have learned to mimic human behavior.
What does the monkey say?
While these actions are adorable, this behavior resulted in many hours of worry and loss of money for Russell Jones. His story has now been shared on social media by many. The London resident's video being shared online shows him plastered in a plastered cast. On account of his broken leg, he walks with a limp. Walking beside him is his dog named Bill, who is a lurcher. Bill the lurcher. The animal is also walking with a clearly visible limp in his step and struggling to move. Looking at the video, it is obvious why Russell must have rushed to the hospital to get his beloved friend checked out. After x-rays and rounds of examinations by doctors, Russell discovered that there was no physical injury to be found anywhere on the dog. Cost me 300 pounds in vet fees and x-rays. Nothing wrong, just sympathy. Love him, said Russell, according to Sky News Australia. The dog was simply imitating his owner, made most possibly out of sympathy. They arrived at this conclusion because his limping started shortly after Russell's own injury. He must have picked it up that his owner was no longer able to walk properly, so he started doing it as well. In the video, hey, wait, is this the video? It is the video. Okay, we're going to push play right here. There's no sound, though, so.
See, in a moving picture, it's easier
Oh, look at that. He's
It's a big dog.
Oh.
That is a limping dog.
Thank you, Hannibal. Here come the elephants.
I know those people.
That's actually kind of cute, to be honest. Like,
Well, I was going to say, I thought that was fairly common. I've seen cats and dogs, like, mimic their owners all the time.
All right, so go do the chicken story then.
Okay, cats glaring at you because they want you to fall off the planet is not considered mimicking you.
Well, it is when they're Fairy Princess Lolly's cats.
Now, hold on a minute.
Thank you so much for setting that up. I was hoping somebody would give me that setup.
The inconsistency there, and you needed another hand, so I reached out for you.
Yes, alley-oop, sports metaphor. Okay.
Sports metaphor.
Yes, I was going to say, if we speculate about what other behavior her cats might have picked up. Of course, that's probably where the glitter comes from. Okay. What?
Oh.
Wow, I just saw Dana burn a willpower point.
She's burning like
I legit
6.
saw her mark a willpower dot off her character sheet in her head.
You're very intense there, Fairy Princess Lolly.
Yes, I'm looking for an article. I'm not listening to you guys.
I only found one article this week. I'm sorry.
We already had one article about buttholes today.
Yeah. Well, most people only have the one.
Most people only have one kitty.
Tear you a new dinosaur sphincter.
That would be huge.
Let's see. Are you showing pictures? Here you go. Have some pictures.
Okay. Someone has finally managed to photograph a pot at the end of the rainbow.
What?
It's the wrong kind of pot.
Oh. It's a pot of gold, not a pot of
No,
cream.
it's a porta pot.
Oh, also the wrong kind of pot. Oh, that's not a pot of gold.
Fairy Princess Lolly. This is what happens before a tornado.
Okay, so last week we said that we were going to read the time that Black Sabbath couldn't find Ozzy Osbourne. Do you guys remember that? Because we ran out of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so because that was one that everybody was in favor of last week, we will now. Oh, I like that picture.
That's just before a tornado touches down. That's the green sky I told you about.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
But it's pretty though. I mean, I guess destruction is so beautiful. Beautiful destruction. That could be a band name. Trampoline sale only used once. That's terrible. Okay, here we go. So Ozzy Osbourne, it is. Oh yes, here we go. Black Sabbath. Let's see. Is there anything more metal than doing so much cocaine that you start to get bored by it? This was definitely the case for bands like Black Sabbath, Van Halen, and Motley Crue, who were all doing coke by the literal plane load in the 70s and 80s. And to keep things from getting stale, they decided to create an entire sci-fi-inspired epic around their preferred powder, one that included a damsel in distress, Ozzy Osbourne. Cocaine has a lot of nicknames: Blow, China, Bolivian marching powder, the Dickhead Generator. But if you were on the metal scene in the late 70s, you knew coke.
What was that last one?
The Dickhead Generator.
I'm unfamiliar with that term.
Krell, Krell. Allegedly coined by Motley Crue, which seems like BS considering they weren't a band until 1981. Krell was a reference to a fictional race of aliens in Forbidden Planet, a sci-fi novel and subsequent movie starring Leslie Nielsen. By the start of the story, the Krell have mysteriously vanished, having left behind only their alien technology. Technology that, when used by humans, and here comes the reference, boosts your intelligence, alertness, but also gives you a dangerous amount of hubris. It also makes you really want to open a Krell bar at 4 in the morning.
Demons from the id.
RKO makes these movies, just saying.
Forbidden Planet is a wonderful adaptation of The Tempest.
The not-so-catchy name quickly traveled to other rock god bands and became an established bit of metal jargon. If you can't name your stimulants after aliens from a sci-fi opera without but you can't do that without taking it to the next level. Metal bands soon started playing a game called Krell Wars. How do you make a game out of doing cocaine? It is simple. You keep snorting throughout the night, and the first person to pass out loses. Of course, since every player has enough Krell in them to actually vibrate to the frequency of some observing alien race, there never is a loser. This brings us to Metal's King of Krell, Ozzy Osbourne. While on the road with Van Halen during Black Sabbath's 1978 Never Say Die tour, Osbourne and Eddie Van Halen allegedly developed a not-so-healthy rivalry, often playing a dangerous game of Krell Wars the night before a concert. According to David Lee Roth, after yet another Krell Wars tie, the bands hit the road to go perform in Nashville, except that when they arrived at their hotel, no one could find Ozzy. Between his bad health, being in a foreign place, and seemingly having enough coke in his blood to give a rhino a heart attack, the rest of Black Sabbath came to only one conclusion. Ozzy's dead, man. Since Ozzy winding up dead in a ditch was a possibility any day of the week, the band immediately went into crisis containment mode. They asked Roth to front for them during the concert, at which point the singer demurely had to confess, "Fellas, I don't know the lyrics. I'm sorry." Or, since he was also still coked up to his tits, "Fellas, I don't know the lyrics. What do you want me to do on, handstand?" Let's see. The concert was canceled. The press caught wind of why, and the fans panicked. Before the end of the day, a candlelight vigil was being held in memory of Ozzy Osbourne. May he find rest wherever he is. And he had. The next day, while the bands were still coordinating with the police, Ozzy simply walked out of the elevator, fresh as a daisy. It turned out that the coked out of his mind Osbourne had apparently walked into a random hotel room, chased off the maid during a turndown service, fell into bed, and entered an 18-hour post-coke coma. And while this was a very funny anecdote for all the rock stars present to add to their memoirs, Osbourne lost more than just consciousness that day. So tired were the rest of Black Sabbath and his destructive nature, Osbourne was fired from the band only a few weeks later. He may have won the Krell battle, but he definitely lost the Krell War. Wow. Okay, and that's that time. Well, I mean, but he's still a part of Black Sabbath, so he must have got his job back.
No.
Black Sabbath stopped being.
No, I don't think he's been in the band for years.
Dio was in Black Sabbath at one point. They've had a couple different singers.
Huh. I did not know that.
I mean, basically, I didn't think Black Sabbath was still operational, but yeah, I think he parted ways with them a long time ago, and then got back together, and then parted ways, and then.
Okay, so with that said, it is 9:27. We now know the story of Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath, and basically we are at the end of the show. So, everybody, we will see you again on Friday for author reads, and then on Sunday for handmade home shopping. It is actually, this week is handmade home shopping. We are 1 week away from our second episode of Imperfect Product, so I'm kind of excited for that. But it is handmade home shopping this Sunday. Please remember, hit the like and subscribe, and if you want to be in all of our drawings, you can join the channel. And with that said, then why are you pointing, famous Dana?
I was pointing down at like a subscribe button that's supposed to be floating there somewhere.
Oh, it's actually like and subscribe, but if you join the channel, the join button is also next there, and it says join, which is different than just.
I ended up pointing down at Morbid, and so yeah.
Oops, there we go. This is what I'm looking for. Yes, and remember that our magic word is Sushi Cat. So after the show, go on to YouTube and in the comments of the show, put the word Sushi Cat. Good night, everybody.
Sushi Cat.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sushi Cat. What are they feeding you? Sushi Cat. Sushi Cat.
Hello, friends. This is Gone for Hammerhands. Thank you for checking out Fairy Princess Lolly's channel. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you'd like to support these magical creations, fly over to our Patreon and join the fairy family. Safe travels!